Hi, my name is Lynn O'Shaughnessy, thecollegesolution.com, and I want to help you cut the cost of college. I hope this works because I've gone through all of my dollar bills, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But anyway, you're probably watching my video because you're stressed about college, and I don't blame you. I was that way back when my kids were teenagers. But the good news is there is hope, and I'm going to show you what you can do to cut your cost. But in the meantime, you've probably showed up in my website because the sources that you thought was going to help may be letting you down. One of the top sources that people turn to are the colleges themselves. And your children might already be getting tons of written materials from schools as well as emails courting them. But here's the deal with the colleges. Colleges are businesses, and they're not going to tell you what you need to know to really evaluate their schools. For instance, if they give lousy financial aid, they're not going to tell a student, oh, don't apply here because you're going to have to take out huge loans. Or if you are a rich student and they don't give merit aid to wealthy students because they don't have to, because they get lots of them, they're not going to tell you that. The other source that you might be turning to are books, and that's what I did when my kids were teenagers. I mean, here are just some of the books that I have. And oh, I just scared my golden retriever with that. I get lots of books, tons of books, because now I write about college, so I get a lot for free. But I can tell you, when I was reading these when my children were teenagers, some of them just made me more stressed. And then, of course, a big source that people depend on to get answers for college are high school counselors. This is a national scandal, and you probably don't know this, but high school counselors are not trained in college planning at all. And a particular weakness is the financial side of college. In fact, a lot of counselors are scared, intimidated about the financial side of college. So they may spend a lot of time, work hard on developing a college list for your children, if you're lucky, because a lot of counselors are typically way overwhelmed with work. But they could develop a college list that that was created in a vacuum, because they could name these schools without knowing if you can afford to pay for them or if a child is going to get money from these schools. So that's where I can help. I can help you become an empowered consumer, and that's what you need to do to help lower your cost. And you can do this by taking my popular class that I've had many families, many parents take since I started this class last year. I've had hundreds of parents take this class. So what's in the class? First of all, there are tons of lessons, dozens of lessons, and also some videos on lots of different topics that are all geared toward cutting your college costs. About financial aid, I've got lessons on merit aid. I tell everyone at the beginning, one of the first things I focus on is, hey, you need to answer the question, are you going to get financial aid or not? If you aren't, you're going to be looking for schools that give merit aid. If you are going to qualify for need-based aid, you're going to look for schools that are going to be as generous as possible with their financial assistance. So it's important to know that at the very beginning. I talk about ways in the class to increase your admission chances, which can lead to more money, the main sources of college money. I also share with you tools you can use to evaluate the generosity of any school well before your child applies, which is the good news is college pricing is becoming transparent, but families don't know what tools to use to evaluate schools. So you're going to learn all of that. There's also in the class 3 webinars, live webinars, but I record them. So if you can't make the live recording, no big deal. I send you a link to the recorded webinar. If you do make the live webinar, you can, which are in the evenings, you can ask me questions. I do a presentation and then I stick around until I answer everyone's questions. At the beginning when I started these classes, I thought the webinars would last for like an hour, but they typically last for an hour and a half because of the questions. And the longest I had, which was I think last month, it was actually 2 hours. Some people actually stuck it out for 2 hours. I was like pretty exhausted by the end. Another thing that you're going to get in the class are handouts that you can download and use. You can also download all the written lessons. That's why this is a class that's really designed for busy parents, so that you can take advantage of this material whenever, wherever you want. The handouts include a list of schools that say they meet 100% of need. I have another list of 22 schools that don't give any merit aid, which would be of importance to high income families who are looking for a discount. These are schools where you're not going to get the discount. I also, for those who sign up early, you're going to get a 55-page guide on resources to build a college list, because that's something that families are really interested in. Is, if they decide to throw a wider net, and I highly recommend it, then where do you find schools? And I think it's particularly important with people have no idea what colleges are as opposed to universities. So this is a way to just look at a lot more institutions than you would have normally. So that's a really valuable guide. The last thing you're going to get in this class is a parent forum, which is something I'm new. I'm really excited about it. I have parents from all over the country in this class, from Maine to California, from the state of Washington down to Florida and Louisiana, and every place in between, and even some Americans who live overseas. And so this is going to be a way for them to better interact with each other and also ask me questions. So, and I should mention, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, this is an 8-week course. So how much is this all going to cost? Well, first I need to tell you that I am not a college consultant. I have had countless people over the years ask me if I do consulting. In fact, in the last week, I've had several people ask me that, and I just don't do it. I only help people through my classes and also through my blog. So this is the way to have access to me for all 8 weeks. So if you have questions, you can ask me questions in the classroom as well as in the webinar. The price of this class is going to be $295, and if you break that down, it's about a cup of coffee a day. I think it's a total deal because of all the information you're going to get as well as access to me. And I can tell you, I've had great feedback from parents who have taken the course who love it, and I've also gotten feedback from parents who've gone through the admission process, and they're very happy with the choices that their children got and the kind of discounts they got from colleges. So what should you do now? Well, I would urge you to enroll today. If you're on my website, you can just click on the Cut Your College Cost button. If you're not on my website, just go to thecollegesolution.com and you will see where you need to go to register for the class. The class starts on September 15th, and I hope you enroll today.